This is once again Hariva Prasad Damarla. In this session, we will discuss about General Packet Radio System. This is popularly known as GPRS. This is part 1 in our series of lectures on GPRS. GPRS facilitates data communication to the GSM user with some additional network elements added to it. First, we will try to understand the basic concept of GPRS and how the packet communication or packet switching is enabled for the GSM user by using the GPRS network. We will try to discuss in this session. First, we will go through the concept of the GPRS. The GSM, that is 2G mobile networks, are based on circuit switching techniques and primarily meant for voice. So the 2G network is mainly a circuit switch network. It is mainly intended for providing a digital voice communication when compared to 1G networks, which provide voice communication on analog. GSM can provide a nominal data of 9.6 kbps and just sufficient to support SMS. GSM can also provide nominal data rate in the order of 9.6 kbps, which may be just sufficient for SMS, short message service. For data services that are based on Internet Protocol, IP, such as email and web browsing, GSM circuit switching is inefficient. So GSM cannot provide IP-based data services because the GSM network is basically a circuit switching network. It is inefficient for handling data communication. Then what is the solution? Let us look into it. GPRS, which is an acronym for General Packet Radio System, introduces packet data transmission ability to the mobile user. So GPRS facilitates packet data transmission, that is accessing internet, web browsing, email, etc. to mobile user. GPRS is designed to work with the existing GSM infrastructure with additional packet switching networks. How? The GPRS provides packet switching capability or data transmission to the mobile user is by means of adding packet switching nodes over the existing GSM infrastructure. The beauty of GPRS is you can utilize the existing GSM infrastructure and you can convert the network into GPRS network by adding a few network elements which support packet switching. They are known as packet switching nodes. The packet mode technique uses multi-slot technology together with the support of different coding schemes, that is CS1 to CS4, to increase the data rates up to 160 kbps. Let us try to understand this statement. So GSM, GPRS uses multi-slot technology. What it means is, in case of GSM, generally each user gets one time slot of the carrier. Each carrier we are dividing in the time domain by 8 slots. Generally, one slot is allotted to each and every user. But in case of packet networking or in GPRS, so more than one time slot is allotted to provide data facility at a higher rate. Apart from that, allotting more than one time slots, up to 8 time slots. So certain coding schemes are also adopted to increase the data speed in GPRS network up to 160 kbps. The GPRS system uses the physical radio channels as defined for GSM. So GPRS network also utilizes the same physical radio channels or carriers that are defined for GSM network. A physical radio channel, when used for GPRS, is called packet data channel, PDCH. So when you are using the radio channel for the purpose of data communication, that is for GPRS, the same physical radio channel is designated as PDCH, which stands for packet data channel. Now we will try to understand something about our GPRS coding schemes. GPRS offers a number of coding schemes with different levels of error detection and correction. So we are having different coding schemes which offer different levels of error detection and correction. That means you have to forego certain throughput, theoretical throughput for error detection as well as for correction. These are used depending upon the radio frequency signal conditions and the requirements for the data being sent. So the coding scheme which we adopt depends upon the signal condition, radio frequency signal condition, whether the signal is good or not, whether it is partially faded or fully faded. And at the same time, it also depends upon the requirement of the user. When the user requires less data, so accordingly, less number of time slots will be allotted, maybe 2 time slots. When provided, time slots are available, depending upon the network condition also. Suppose the network is free, the signal strength is good, the user requirement also high, he requires high speed, and the channels are free, and the time slots are free. So at the time, more than one time slot, say up to 8 time slots can be allocated so that the user gets higher speed of data throughput. These are given labels. The coding schemes are given labels like CS4, CS3, CS2, and CS1 in descending order. CS4 offers higher throughput, then CS3 offers next level of higher throughput, that is less than CS4, and CS2 less than CS3, and CS1 less than CS1. Sorry. Now we will discuss one after the other. So what are the conditions for CS4? What are the conditions for CS3, CS2 and CS1? CS4, coding scheme 4. This scheme is used when the signal strength is high and interference levels are low. As a matter of fact, the signal strength is sufficiently high. That means the user is nearer to the base station and the feeding and other adverse effects are negligible, no effect, and interference levels are barest minimum. So at that time, you need not apply more correction for your signal. Same thing is given here. Minimum correction is applied to the signal, allowing for a maximum throughput. CS4 facilitates the topmost throughput because here the signal strength is very high and interference levels are very less, and the data bits required for error correction is minimum, barest minimum. Then next level we will see. That is, the throughput is less than CS4. That is CS3, coding scheme 3. This GPRS coding scheme effectively uses a 3x4 coder, which gives you 75% efficiency. 3x4 coder means, in a layman language, out of 4 bits, 3 bits for throughput, 1 bit for miscellaneous like error detection and correction. This coding scheme is adopted when the signal strength is very good. Very good does not mean better than CS4. Okay, still good, very good, and but not as good as CS4. So when the signal strength is very good, of course, when compared to CS4, it is not good. So at that time, coding scheme 3 is followed, which offers 75% efficiency of bits for throughput. Then next level, down level below the CS3, we have CS2 coding scheme 2. This error detection and GPRS coding scheme is for reasonably better channels. So channels are reasonably good, but not as good as CS3 or CS4. It effectively uses a 2x3 encoder which offers 66% efficiency and results in an improved data rate over CS1, but below CS3 and CS4. It is self-explanatory. So here it also gives improvised data up to 66% efficiency, but less than CS3 and therefore still less than CS4. Then we will see the last coding scheme, CS1. This GPRS coding scheme applies the highest level of error detection and correction. In this scheme, so more bits are wasted in the form of error detection and correction, and therefore the throughput is less compared to CS2, of course, compared to CS3 and CS4 as well. It is used in scenarios when interference levels are high or signal levels are very low. So this coding scheme is applied when the interference levels are high because of environmental reasons or other geographical reasons, and signal levels are very low. That means the user may be far away with reference to the BTS, base transceiver station, or the base station, or the cell site, whatever you call it. By applying high levels of detection and correction, this necessitates that The data is to be resent too often. Because of the more correction is to be applied, the data is to be sent more than one time, maybe two times, three times, depending upon the signal being received and the errors detected. This level of detection and coding results in off-code rates, that is 1 by 2. 50% of efficiency only you can get. So this is about the different coding schemes. Further, we will discuss on this concept. Now, before discussing CS4, CS3, CS2 and CS1 scenarios diagrammatically and understanding the bits for error correction and the throughput in different scenarios, first let us understand the uplink, downlink, frame, time slot and the total bits that can be supported by a time slot we will try to understand. This is your base transceiver station or mobile tower, and this is the user. So this is the downlink or the forward link, that is the data being received by the user in this frame, and this is the data from the user to the base transceiver station. So these 8 time slots represents one frame. The carrier is divided into 8 time slots in time domain. So this is the 8 time slot frame in GSM. So this red indicates one of the time slots. As given below, user data plus error correction bits equals to 22.8 kilobits per second. That means each time slot, which I have indicated in red, can support total of 22.8 kilobits per second, which includes user data as well as error correction. So same thing here, it is summarized. Each time slot can support 22.8 kilobits. So this figure is the total number of bits that can be supported by a single time slot. So forgetting about the bits required for error correction. Both put together, for all purposes, the total capacity of the time slot is 22.8 kilobits per second. This is important aspect which we have to remember for further discussion. Now we will see CS4 user mobile data rate. We will compute here the mobile data rate in CS4. Okay, under CS4 coding scheme 4, what is the user data out of the 22.8 total time slot data? So here, this is the base station, this is the mobile. This mobile is in CS4 zone. So this is nearer to base station, next level, and the last almost in the edge. So for easy understanding, let us assume this base transceiver can provide mobile communication, say up to 4 kilometers. For easy understanding, I am taking this analogy. So suppose if the user is within 1 kilometer radius with reference to the BTS, so the coding scheme CS4 is applied. Let us assume. Suppose if the user is within 2 kilometer zone, that is 1 to 2 kilometer zone, so coding scheme 3 is applied. Suppose this is less than 1, 0 to 1. This is 1 to 2. I think I have told there is a mistake, omission in my presentation. So this is 0 to 1 kilometer. This is 1 to 2 kilometer, that is CS3. This is 2 to 3 kilometers range. Okay. Then this is beyond 3 kilometer, say up to 4 kilometers. So because we have assumed that for easy understanding, 4 kilometer is the maximum distance up to which this mobile tower can provide communication to the mobile users up to the boundary. Here in CS4, the user data rate that can be supported by a single time slot, I repeat, by a single time slot is 21.4 kilobits per second. So total time slot capacity is 22.8. So here in CS4 also some bits are used for error detection and correction. So the maximum bits used for error correction is 1.4 kbps. Therefore, the user data in case of CS4, that is in our example within 1 kilometer, is 22.8 minus 1.4, that is 21.4 kilobits per second. Now we will see CS3 condition. CS3 user mobile data rate. So now the user has moved a little bit away from 0 to 1 kilometer radius to 1 to 2 kilometer radius. Here we are assuming CS3 is applied, coding scheme 3 is applied. Here the user data rate is 15.6 kilobits because the user has moved far away from the BTS with reference to the CS4 condition. So the signal strength falls down when compared to the first case. Therefore, the error bits required increases. So here the error correction data rate is 7.2 kilobits per second. So therefore, the user data will be 22.8 kbps minus 7.2 kbps, which is equal to 15.6 kbps. Next, we will see CS2 condition. So now the user has further moved with reference to the BTS. So that is, this is 1 to 2. Let us assume this is 2 to 3 kilometer radius. The user is in 2 to 3 kilometers radius in our example. So here the user data falls down to 13.4 kbps because the user has moved further away with respect to BTS. The signal strength would be still less when compared to CS3, and therefore the possibility of errors increases and the bits required for error correction increases to 9.4 kbps. So here also, if you can compute the user data rate in CS2, the data rate is 22.8 minus 9.4 kbps required for error correction. So the resultant user data will be 13.4 kbps. Next, we will discuss about CS1 condition, user mobile data rate. Here, the user has further moved from CS2 range to this range, CS1. Say, let us say 3 to 4 kilometers range or nearer to the boundary. Here, the user data rate has drastically fallen down to 9.05 because the signal strength is very less because the user has moved very much far away, almost to the boundary of this BTS coverage. Here more number of bits are required for error correction, the bits required are very much higher, that is 13.75. Therefore, the effective throughput what the user can get in this case of CS1 coding system 1 is 22.8 minus 13.75, which works out to be 9.05 kbps only. The main reason is the user has moved far away. The signal strength is more attenuated. Signal strength is less, and the error correction requirement increases. Now we will discuss about the GPRS data rates of theoretical versus actual. So far, whatever we have discussed is the theoretically possible maximum throughput in case of CS1, CS2, CS3 and CS4 per time slot. For one time slot, what is the maximum throughput that is possible under different coding schemes we have seen. Now we will see whether this much is possible or not. These theoretical limits are possible or not. It naturally, the practical scenario, the throughput will be less when compared to the theoretically what we have computed because of different reasons. We will study the main causes for reduction in the practical throughput. Let us go through the contents of this slide. Maximum data rate per time slot in CS4 is equal to 22.8 minus 1.4, which works out to be 21.4 kilobits per second in case of CS4 per time slots. Maximum data rate per user if all 8 time slots are allotted. So let us assume the network is free and the user requirement is also more. At that time, let us assume all the 8 time slots are allotted to one subscriber or one user or one mobile user. In that case, the maximum theoretical data speed or throughput we can achieve is 21.4 into 8, that is 171.2 kilobits per second. And it is the theoretical maximum data rate possible. This is the theoretical maximum data rate that is possible, assuming that all the 8 time slots are allotted to a single user. However, the actual data rate depends on number of data users in a cell. If there are more data users in a cell, so it may not be possible for allotting all the 8 time slots for a single user. So it is to be on shared mode only. So they may get less number of time slots. Therefore, the actual rate is less when compared to theoretical possible maximum. Then propagation condition in cell. So the propagation is not uniform throughout the 24 hours, 24/7. So it depends upon the season, on a day, morning, evening, like that. So when fog is there, the propagation is very bad and you cannot expect more data throughput. The signal, the frequency carrier condition will be bad in case of fog and some physical obstructions. So at that time also, the actual speed falls below the theoretical assumption. And it also depends upon the distance from the BTS. As you are moving away from the base station, that is from CS4 to CS3, CS3 to CS2, CS2 to CS1. The distance between the user and the base station increases. As the distance increases, the attenuation also increases and interference also increases. Therefore, the data rate that you can expect is practically less than the theoretical. These are the three important causes for getting less speeds than the theoretical speeds. These are all the practical scenarios under which the practical data speed is less than the theoretical maximum possible rate. Now let us sum up what we have discussed so far. First, we try to understand the concept of GPRS. So GPRS is an add-on to GSM network by some data packet switching elements adding to GSM network. Then we have seen GPRS coding schemes, different coding schemes like CS1, CS2, CS3 and CS4. We have also theoretically computed the data rates that are possible under CS1, CS2, CS3 and CS4 theoretically per time slot. Then we have also seen the GPRS data rates, theoretical versus actual. Theoretically, we assume that all the 8 time slots are allotted to one user in case of the network is free and the requirement of the user is also more. So it computed to be 21.4 into 8, which works out to be 171.2 kbps. But practically, we will not get that speed because it depends upon the number of users and the condition, signal condition, and the distance between the user and the BTS. So this is all what I wanted to discuss in this part 1. So balance we will discuss in the next lecture. So if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel youtube.com/Sri/Haribabu Damar. So thank you very much for participating in this session.